All the Epstein files have been released, and trust me, think twice. You likely don't want to see them. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Stabbed his son and his daughter, and he's out on bail making videos. This is an unbelievable freaking story. And love may be priceless, but Valentine's Day was not. Welcome to the Jay Sheldon Show. Happy Monday. Great to have you along for the ride. We look a little different. I don't know what's going on with the camera today. Whatever. You want to buy me a new camera? Join our Patreon. Spend $5 a month. Buy me a coffee every month. And you can sign up over there. Or just send me some money. There's a PayPal link down in our show notes. Why not? I'm not shy from begging. I need the cash. I can't afford a new camera, but I really want one. So you want to fund it? We'll make you a producer on the show. We'll give you credit. Yeah, it's Monday. Monday has arrived. I did not do much of anything this weekend. Valentine's Day was kind of blasé. I don't know why I'm so tired this morning. It's just, I don't know. It's just hit me like a ton of bricks. And I needed about another 4 or 5 hours of sleep, which I didn't get. But we're here, we're live, and it is Chinese New Year, which is why you're going to hear fireworks during the show because they never stop, which is also why Miko is right here, right beside me in the studio, because she doesn't want to leave my side. Coming up, we're going to have to wind up putting on her thunder coat, which makes her feel a little better. And so do all of our Chinese viewers out there. Gong Si Fa Chai in Mandarin, Gong He Fa Choi in Cantonese, Sien Kuai Le, Happy New Year, and all the best for the Year of the Horse, which starts at midnight tonight as we usher in the Lunar New Year. Oh, yeah. All right. The Epstein saga has now, believe it or not, dragged on for over a decade. Multiple prominent officials, individuals, had their lives, their reputations ruined by their association with this convicted pedophile, and many of them deservedly so. Far as releasing all the files, however, Attorney General Pam Bondi announced on Saturday the job is done. Finito. He said they have released them all as was required by an act of Congress, of course. No records, this is from Bondi, no records were withheld or redacted on the basis of embarrassment, reputational harm, or political sensitivity, including to any government official, public figure, or foreign dignitary. Epstein backfired on the left. A lot of powerful Democrats have been exposed. Trump pretty much vindicated. In a letter addressed to the Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley, Ranking Member Dick Durbin, the House Judiciary Committee Chair Jim Jordan, and Ranking Member Jamie Raskin, the AG Bondi wrote that all Epstein files have been released consistent with Section 3 of the Epstein Files Transparency. That letter includes a list of more than 300 high-profile names. Barack and Michelle Obama, Bill Gates, Prince Harry, Mark Zuckerberg, Woody Allen, Kim Kardashian, Bruce Springsteen, Kurt Cobain. The letter says no records were withheld or redacted on the basis of embarrassment, reputational harm, or political sensitivity to any government official, public figure, or foreign dignitary. Now, apparently, this part of the saga is over. Ramifications, however, are not. As the wild Epstein congressional hearings proved on Wednesday of last week, Bondi, we showed you, got into those shouting matches with a bunch of Democrats who were badgering her over the timeline of the files release. Meanwhile, former Harvard University president Larry Summers stepped back from public commitments. In November, Prince Andrew, stripped of his royal titles, booted from his longtime residence. Goldman Sachs chief legal officer resigned on Thursday. Members of the UK government embroiled in the scandal, along with multiple figures in Europe. This is a poisonous gift that just keeps on giving. The one person who has not been severely damaged in all this is our president, President Donald Trump. Much to the chagrin of all the Democrats, former President Bill Clinton, First Lady Hillary, still scheduled to testify later this month in front of the House Oversight Committee about what they knew about Epstein's shenanigans. Committee Chair James Comer has hinted he wants to call on Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates after the Clintons have made their appearance. They've been playing cat and mouse games with Comer ever since he demanded their appearance. At one point, the House was poised to hold them in contempt of Congress, of course. It'll be interesting to see if they show up after this list. Maybe not. Consistently been trying to change the parameters of the hearing, and I'm sure they've got some last-minute tricks up their sleeves. As far as the DOJ is concerned, they have done exactly what Congress demanded, and they're ready to apparently move on. We'll see. There are a lot of names on this list. The files are available. There are websites. Now, Ian Carroll, who is a big YouTuber, I believe he's also here on Rumble, he has actually come up with a piece of software that will allow you to search the unredacted versions, with the exception, of course, of the victims' names, of the files. However, honestly, I've thought about this, and I'm going to warn you, because I have looked at them. You really ought to think twice before you go searching through these files, including the videos and the pictures. It will haunt you for the rest of your life. And I'm not saying that as clickbait. I'm not saying that as a way to, oh, yeah, now I really got to go see them. Satanic. Absolutely from the pits of hell. Torture. Cannibalism. Removing kids' teeth. Allegedly to prevent them from biting during essays. Torture. Epstein even enrolled his girlfriend in dental school. Seriously, folks, I'm not kidding when I say, please think twice before you go searching through these files, because you very well will read and see things you will not be able to unsee. Tim Burchett, who is absolutely an amazing member of Congress, he's not afraid to say what a lot of other people will not. He speaks very plainly. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. And he is willing to touch this subject that most politicians avoid. That kind of courage in Washington is very rare. And this is what he had to say about these files and what's in them. Oh, no. Are you kidding me? What is going on with the web page? Can we get the sound? We try the other one, please. See if that one's working.
It's in the.
Okay, this one is working. So you're just gonna have to live with my mug. Let's see if I can. Let's see if I can make this work. Here we go.
This stuff that is in these files makes all that pale in comparison. And if you're offered an opportunity to view the pictures or read the files, this stuff that is in these files makes all that pale in comparison. And if you're offered an opportunity to view the pictures or read the files, I I would seriously consider not doing that.
Yeah.
Because it will haunt you, this stuff that's in there. And here's the problem. The Biden administration, the Obama administration, these files have been out there forever. And I've said this many times. If they had the goods on Trump, that the Obama administration slash the Biden administration, because it never really changed hands. They would have had that stuff out there. And this stuff just goes so deep, Benny, and it is very disgusting to me. And, it's evil, it's satanic, and it's from the pits of hell, and that's where these people will end up. This stuff.
We can only hope so. But there he is, Tim Burchett, who is not afraid to call a spade. And like I said, please consider his advice, because, like I said, I've seen some of them. I stopped looking, and I really don't want to see anymore. It's let the authorities, let the people who can, let the district attorneys, let them dig through this and file charges where they need to be filed. No need for you to look at this crap. Unbelievable. Alex Jones, our favorite Alex Jones, has come out with a rather interesting. Where is that link? He said Trump absolutely ordered the release of these files. Kentucky Republican Thomas Massie charged Trump's administration with protecting an Epstein class in a heated ABC interview, criticizing unfulfilled promises of transparency on Epstein's files, despite the DOJ releasing over 3.5 million pages last month. Massie, Representative Ro Khanna, spotted over-redactions in unredacted versions, leading to quick fixes that revealed names like Leslie Wexner. DOJ letter defended the moves for privacy and security. The clash absolutely fuels the GOP divide ahead of Bessie May's primary against a Trump-backed challenger. But figures like Marjorie Taylor Greene echoing demands for more details on the uncharged associates. But Jones said, no, Trump fought like hell to get these files released.
He had meetings yesterday and today with his cabinet.
Oh, okay.
This
You mean
exclusive.
Trump had it this morning? Okay.
This is exclusive.
Yeah.
No one knows this. I've talked to multiple people, one that was in the room and other people that heard about it, and also people that were delivering my message, which I'm here in Florida delivering to the family. Like, listen, you're committing political suicide, self-inflicted wound. We know you're not in there. I had Mark Mitchell go 3 months ago to the White House, show him the numbers. This is what's killing him. We know he's not involved already. We know it was over the stock market, because I was with people that were at the meeting a year ago, or over a year ago, 13 months ago when he was president-elect. And they told him this. And I've said it probably 1,000 times on air. Folks, I don't agree with it. People said I'm covering up for it. I was just saying with their idea, their mindset. I'm not agreeing with that. It'll crash the stock market. You got hundreds of head bankers, heads of universities, heads of brokerage firms, the royalty, not
Bill
just
Gates as well.
Bill Gates. Oh, it just goes on and on. All of top Obama's people. It's all Democrats, 99%. But they came to Trump and they said, if you bring this out, it'll bring down the stock market. I probably said, let's not exaggerate, 500 times last year and a half that expect this to happen, because I was already told, don't expect this because this is what happened. And I said, you're making a mistake. They're going to stab you in the back. They said, no, they're not. And I said, that's wrong. But notice Bondi 3 days ago, or Thursday, was in that congressional hearing. Yeah. And she goes, it'll crash the stock market and bring down the system, I tell you. And people got the clips of me saying that like 100 times. So, but finally Trump got, oh my God, it's going to crash it anyways. I've been double crossed. So this morning he said, "You're all fired." This is people in the meeting.
Wow.
He said, "You're all fired." He said, "I want." And by the way, behind the scenes, Trump used to cuss some. He yelled some. You see when he's hoarse, he goes, "I'm sorry, but scream people." He said, "Listen, motherfuckers. I'm sick of being tied to this shit. I'm the one that dropped a dime on him 18 years ago." He goes, "You're all fucking fired if it isn't fucking released. Do you fucking understand me?" They released the whole list of anybody in his files.
Oh.
They released 3 million more files, and Trump said, "I will fire every goddamn one of you." Because they came to him and said, "Sir, they say your wife's a hooker." All this stuff that was all recycled from 9-10 years ago, which I said it was, and it came out. They said, "Oh, his wife's a hooker. Worker for Epstein." That wasn't true. He had a modeling agency that she was at. She wasn't at that. So they were fucking with him and telling him, "You don't want to do this." They tricked him, and now Trump went thermonuclear. He finally listened to us. He finally listened to Roger Stone and others, and this is historic. And I'm told Congressman Tim Burchett and others have said, they have already been access to this, okay? And they said, if you think the Satanism and the cannibalism and the blood drinking is bad and what you saw before, they said what is in these new files is going to shake everybody. And they warned you, don't even look at it if you don't want to have nightmares.
There you go. There you go. It's exactly what I just said. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right. Let's get off that because it's evil enough. Honestly, folks, don't, please, there's no need for you to look at the files. It's just, I know morbid curiosity is a very strong feeling, but I don't. Okay? Let's talk about some good news. The average IRS tax refund this year has jumped, not a little bit. It has jumped up 11% from last year. $2,290 it jumps to. How about that? Early IRS filing season data shows taxpayers getting larger refunds compared to the same point last year, according to the agency's latest weekly statistics. This is not marginal. This is meaningful difference. The average refund, 10.9% higher so far this season compared to the same point in 2025, according to the early filings from the IRS. Percentage attention-grabbing dollar figures show the kind of scale we're dealing with. February 6th, as of that date, not so long ago, today's the 16th, the average refund, $2,290, up from $2,065 a year ago. It reported more than $16.9 billion in refunds had already been issued. 1.9% increase in the total dollars compared to last year. These are unprecedented returns. Those are actual payments, not projections. Average refund amounts are strong, the IRS said. That's how they are characterizing the latest data. Weekly report shows filing activity itself tracking close to last year's pace. The number of returns received so far this filing season tracking close to the same pace as last year. Important data because what it does is it removes a distortion in early filing. If more people file than last year or less people file, that skews the data. But about the same number of people. So these numbers matter. Early data for refunds can be deceiving. Andrew Lutz, the Director of Tax Policy, wrote in a tax season guide, and he's not wrong. Filing season numbers tend to move once mid-February processing restrictions lift. Refundable credits begin flowing. Other moving prices as well, wage growth, changes in withholding patterns, credit timing can all affect how much comes back at filing time. But the current comparison, not built on thin data, folks. Tax refunds, simply withheld income being returned. Not a new benefit or a new program. It's if the early numbers hold out, more of that income is going to be handed right back into your bank accounts this spring. It's going to make a big, big difference. As well it should. Good deal. And right back into the bullshit bad news, because this is disgusting. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this story because it's that disgusting. A trans-identified man, Alice Atwood is his name, or what he goes by. Listen, he stabbed his 7-year-old son and 8-year-old daughter. Stabbed them. And he's out on bail. That's our good old judicial system. His daughter needed emergency surgery to repair a severed esophagus, was on a feeding tube for months. After stabbing his own daughter in the throat, they let this scumball out on bail. He is currently living in a minivan, recently seen in Calgary. The outside of the van, hand-painted, and says, "Every child matters." He is posting videos online, openly stating he is very unstable and dangerous to society. But a Canadian judge decided he should be free to roam the streets while he's awaiting sentencing. This is beyond disgusting.
Good morning. It's your favorite hobo you love to hate. I just wanted to do a check-in, let people know that I am being safe, I'm being secure. I have taken care of my needs, and I am just chilling until I actually go for my sentencing. And yeah, I did kind of realize that we do have a highly unique opportunity here, whereas I'm someone who did something heinous and I'm on social media, whereas pretty much all the other people who do something heinous get locked in a box and blocked out from society, and they don't get to talk to them. So, like, does it put me at risk? I'm already at risk. So whatever, I guess. Yeah, sure it does. But also, I know that I'm going to do everything in my part to not hurt anyone else in society. For sure. Like, nope, I'm good. That was a horrible, horrible, horrible error and a bad decision that I made, and I shouldn't have ever done it. I never will do it again, and if I could rewrite history and make it so I didn't do it, I would. But that's not going to happen, so I definitely have to answer for it, and we just have to, I guess, deal with it.
Yeah. And if there was any justice in the world, and we didn't have a thoroughly effed up system of justice in Canada, similar to kind of effed up system we have here, you would be locked up and you would never, ever, ever again see the light of day. You don't belong in a prison, you belong under the prison. And this idiot, this scum, has the balls to be posting on social media. Are you freaking kidding me? This is the reality of our world today, folks. This is what we're dealing with. Out on bail, living in a minivan. Fortunately, every now and then, some of these morons get a little dose of reality. And this little spoiled brat got a cold dose of reality when the police showed up at her home to arrest her. Her dad on the phone did absolutely the right thing. Listen close. You're going to love this.
Do I look familiar? Kind of. Yeah, I know. Turn around, put your hands behind your back. You're under arrest for fleeing and eluding law enforcement.
I'm getting arrested because an officer said I was fleeing and eluding.
Can I talk to him?
Yeah.
Officer Rhea, in the middle of the road, I'm a fully uniformed police officer telling her to stop. Not only does she not even apply the brakes, she rapidly accelerates away from me.
So why didn't you pull over at the time when he waved you down to stop?
Really didn't even know. I just saw a person in white and black.
Yeah, this has been her the entire time, sir.
I know. That's what I don't get with her. It's just total ridiculous. So your nursing stuff is going to be screwed up now too because you don't have no damn manners. And now you're done because you're so goddamn arrogant and cocky the whole damn time when you could
Go ahead.
talk to the officer normally. When you did it, you had to be a real jerk, didn't you?
Did you hear your dad?
All right, so when you get to jail, you get one phone call. So when you call your mom and start bitching at her and stuff, she gonna make you sit. You call me, I'll make your ass sit too because I'm not putting up with this shit.
Good on you. Go, Dad. Oh, yeah. I'm not putting up with this shit. And your mom's going to give you the same thing. I love that. I love it. You could just look, you could see by the way she was acting what a spoiled little entitled witch this woman is. What a child. You get what you pay for. FAFO, baby. Oh, here we go again. Mamdani on the streets of New York. He is demanding, like he's in any position to demand anything, he is demanding that the immigration policy of the U.S. start obeying Islam. Yeah. Mamdani invoked Islamic doctrine to define civic obligation and delegitimize lawful constitutional authority. Listen close, this gets a little wonky, but it's easy to follow. New York City interfaith breakfast last week, Mayor Zoran didn't merely criticize federal immigration enforcement. He reframed it as a religious and a moral transgression, invoked the Islamic doctrine of Hijra, urged New Yorkers to stand alongside the stranger in permanent unqualified solidarity, elevating prophetic example above the constitutional sovereignty. Here's Mamdani's own words. Islam is a religion built upon a narrative of migration. The story of the Hijra reminds us that the Prophet Muhammad was a stranger too, who fled Mecca and was welcomed in Medina. He then universalized that narrative into some sort of binding civic command. He said, the obligation is upon all of us to look out for the stranger. In this framework, federal enforcement is not lawful authority. It's cruelty, they say. Immigration officers become masked agents paid by our own tax dollars who. All right, dog, come out here. The dog is knocking the camera around. I don't think I can fix that. I'll just have to leave it for the rest of the show. Give me a second, okay? I'm going to try. I don't think it's going to work. All right. Close enough. Come out here, you idiot dog. Come here. Come here. I hate fireworks, okay? Mom Danny says, if these are not attacks upon the stranger among us, what is? There's no reforming something so rotten and base. Mass migration, framed as moral and civilizationalized imperative, demanding compassion and openness, while serious pushback on enforcement gets cast as intolerant or unjust, xenophobic even. This is like the Muslim Brotherhood's doctrine of tamkin. That's been outlined in a bunch of strategic writings like the Explanatory Memorandum of 1991 and the 1982 Project. Described a phased, civilized strategy built on population presence, parallel institutions, and resistance to full assimilation. Dog, I'm going to kick your ass. It's a mess. You want to know more, look it up. I'm not going to get any more in this. And now I've got this idiot dog trying to scratch his way to hell. Miko, come over here. Miko, come here. Shiba Inus have a mind of their own. And she's going to do whatever she wants. Normally, she's very obedient. She's a great dog. But when fireworks happen, all bets are off. All bets are off. All right. This is a cool one. Your tinfoil hat uncle was right. Again. Remember back in 2015 when your bourbon-chugging conspiracy theorist Uncle Kevin stunned the family at Christmas dinner by saying, a bunch of rich pedos are trying to form a one-world government. They'll take away your steaks and your cars and your dogs. They'll blame it on climate change. They'll tell you that men are women, label you a bigot if you refuse to let them control your mind. They'll fill your kids full of SSRIs and tell them to cut off their private parts. Take your children away if you don't play along. They'll replace cash with digital currency and freeze your funds if you don't like their latest tweet. If you don't stop saying things like, these lizard people don't condone, they'll arrest you. All of this is happening. The New World Order are going to flood the West with third world Muslim savages who will rape and murder with near impunity. We, the people, will be hunted into genocide. They want all this done by 2030. Don't give up your guns. Pass the ambrosia. Well, guess what? Good old Uncle Kevin was right again. The tinfoil hatters were basically right about absolutely everything. Factorama, the mannequin in the headline picture, is Beatrice. Tinfoil hat she's wearing was created and given by Kate Gunchi, who makes custom MAGA clothing. And bonus Factorama, After reviewing this, I realized that some pictorial editing you cannot control. You can't really see the hat. So this is from the Kevin Downey Jr. show. Let me see if I can get this up. Oh, here you go.
When you choose
No, not that one. There, this one. Tinfoil hat. Seriously. What is wrong with this woman? Uncle Kevin was right about MK Ultra, Tuskegee experiments, probably the Kennedy brothers assassinations, but these conspiracy theories were all really from a different era. I'm talking about the wacko stuff that Uncle Kevin's been talking about right now. With the wisdom God gave him, courage to speak out, Uncle Kevin and his crew of like-minded patriots have been rocketing the Casbah with current tinfoil hattery. So maybe, just maybe, it is time to listen to the Uncle Kevin types. What do they suggest might be next? Well, thank you for asking. The New World Order is real, consists of the Islamo-communism, Muslims being sent to Western nations, never to any of the world's 50 or so Muslim countries, you'll notice, under the guise of asylum seekers. These aren't asylum seekers, my friends. They're seeking conquest. And if you don't believe me, all you have to do is ask them.
Achieved the victory. We haven't done anywhere near enough. And the people here, I promise you, we do feel ashamed. We do feel like we're not doing enough. We do feel like change needs to come, because change must come. And in the form that it must come is that this empire, the American empire that's been hurting our people since the beginning, the imperial Western powers that have been hurting our people since the beginning, they must fall. And inshallah they will fall. And my message to the people of Gaza and the oppressed peoples across the world is that there are people here, both young and old, who are going to be willing to fight and are willing to put their lives and everything they can on the line to bring these empires down, because they must come down.
Inshallah, by the way, means God willing. Okay. Told you. Now, MK Ultra isn't back. The truth is, it never went away. Why did Meemaws nationwide suddenly throw down their knitting and decide to stand in the rain to protest Tesla last year? Why is she now freezing her liver spots off to defend illegal immigrant pedophiles instead of hanging out with her grandkids? This is not the normal life of a grandmother. Not a normal one, anyway. Something set her off. I don't know if it's the latest episode of 60 Minutes or digital landmines hidden away in reruns of The Golden Girls. But begging ICE agents to shoot her tells me that Grandma is no longer in control of her mind. What in the hell is wrong with this woman? This is what we've come to. And what's happening in the UK now is what we can expect right here in the good old US of A. If our normie neighbors don't wake up and join the fight with us, we are going to be imprisoned for speaking out against Muslims, even as a majority of them continue to break the law, in fact, in some cases, murder and rape their way across this country. We have already been lulled into believing that Muslim atrocities are the new normal. Merely discussing this savagery makes something far worse than a rapist or a pedophile it makes us a bigot. This cultural conditioning can really only lead to our own extinction. And frankly, that's likely the plan. We all know about the Great Chicago Fire that burned the second city October 8th, 1871. Told it was caused by a cow, railroad sparks, even an exploding comet. Some people, not many, but they were smart enough to suggest it was the work of communists. Yes, even back in 1871. Did you know that more than a dozen other cities and towns, most of them port towns on the Great Lakes, also burned down that night? Bet you didn't. That includes the Michigan towns of Alpena, Menominee, Manistee, Holland, Port Huron, Wisconsin, Los Pestigo, much of the Green Bay region. The deadliest fire in U.S. history was the Pestigo Fire from 1871, same date, October 8th. It killed at least 1,200 people. Towns opposite Pestigo along the southern side of Green Bay burned down as well. Town of Green Bay, located between the two fires, only unscathed, just barely, but oddly. A lot of the towns also heavily involved in the lumber industry. Milwaukee also untouched. Now, if you believe the fires of October 8th, 1871, which devastated about 16 towns, it was not just Chicago. Most of them were ports. Most of them involved the timber industry. If they were the results of dry weather, well, I would like to sell you an invisible unicorn, my little friend Dottie. She's available for sale. She poops silver dollars and tells naughty jokes in the cocktail hour. And you definitely want to buy her, if you believe that. The Operation Mockingbird mud puppies are not your friend. I bet you didn't know that. 16 different towns burned same night, October 8th, 1871, as the Chicago Fire, the one that we all know about, but nobody talks about. Last Saturday was Valentine's Day, of course. I hope you got to celebrate it with the love of your life. And it may very well be priceless, that thing we call love. But Valentine's Day was not priceless. Dinner reservations, quick getaways, traditional gifts look similar across most of the country. The final totals vary depending upon where you spent your money. For Virginia couples planning a Valentine's celebration, the cost of a night out depended on more than just the restaurant. Dinner reservations, quick getaways, traditionals, gifts, meal taxes are one reason you spent more money. And I'll guess you probably didn't even know where that came from. Restaurant purchases in Virginia are subject to their state sales tax. A lot of cities and counties also impose meal taxes on top of that base rate. Norfolk, Virginia has a 6.5 meals tax. Chesapeake, Virginia Beach use a 6% rate on top of the existing meal tax from the state. Might seem minor, becomes a lot easier to notice when you see it laid out on the receipt. And even when the menu prices match, the final total can be very different once local taxes get added in. 6.5%. That comes out to a lot. Overnight trips, another cost factor. Virginia localities levy transient occupancy taxes, better known as bed taxes, on your hotel stay. Virginia Beach, 9% occupancy tax and a per night bed tax. Norfolk allows a similar thing but results in higher lodging taxes per night. Chesapeake's combination rate is a little bit lower. These taxes very common among locals for revenue sources. Retail and delivery data suggests demand for traditional gifts stays strong. Instacart reporting sharp seasonal spikes for items like roses, stuffed animals. Fresh cut roses, for example, increased more than 1,900%, almost 2,000% increase during the Valentine's Day holiday. 2,000% increase. National Retail Federation estimates Valentine's Day spending would reach $29.1 billion. Holy crap. Candy, greeting cards, flowers, evenings out, jewelry among the most common purchases. Romance ain't cheap, my friends. 2,000% increase in the cost of a dozen roses. Holy crap. All right, get ready, folks, because she's back. Our absolute favorite woman, Melanie, who is, of course, the head and perhaps only online member of the We Do Not Care Club. You go, girl.
Hello, and welcome to all new and existing members of the We Do Not Care Club. I started this club for all women in perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. We are putting the world on notice that we simply just do not care much anymore. Today will be special announcements. We will be focused on the family. This could apply to you. This may not apply to you. If the shoe fits, wear it. Let's go ahead and get started with today's announcements. We do not care if you are having car problems. Using ours is not the solution. We do not care if you're just keeping us in the loop. We prefer for you to keep us out of the loop. We do not care if you're mad. Being mad does not make you right. We do not care if you are family. Unless you are Amazon dropping off some shit I ordered during my insomnia party, don't pop up at my house unannounced. We do not care if you don't like our rules. The door works both ways. We do not care if you're family. Family still needs an end date. Tell us when you're heading out. We do not care if you are super excited about the family group trip. If your deposit isn't in, then neither are you. Love you though. We do not care if you think everyone is against you. When you're always in the drama, maybe, just maybe, you are the director. We do not care if you call us just to vent. Our ears aren't a free hotline. Solutions start when you call the person you are venting about. We do not care if you keep family secrets. Funny how those secrets come out when it's convenient. We do not care if you question our marriage, our relationship, when yours looks like an unsolved puzzle. Maybe, just maybe, you could focus on finding your own missing pieces. Amen. This concludes our announcements. For our new and existing members of the We Do Not Care Club, Go ahead and put in the comments what we do not care about today so we can add those to the list. Thank you.
Thank you, Melanie. If you want to follow her on Instagram, it's at Just Being Melanie. That's Melani. Just Being Melanie. We love you, babe. And we don't care. We're done. Thank God. Monday's over. Miko, who is still hiding under the desk. I got some major dog dealing to do. I'll be doing that next. Dan Bongino is up next here on Rumble at 10. Be sure and check it out. And I will see you all again right back here tomorrow at 9 a.m. on The Jay Sheldon Show.